Hey guys, Matt Greer here. I have been getting a lot of questions from you guys regarding Airbnbs. I'm actually surprised at how many of you have been asking me about buying one. And I wanted to answer a couple of questions. And I'm actually here in Las Sendas Mesa. This is a beautiful neighborhood. I'm at their park right now. And this neighborhood goes up the mountain. It is one of the most sought after neighborhoods in Mesa. And it was actually place where a lot of interesting things happen regarding Airbnbs in the area. So first things first, people ask, are Airbnbs allowed in Arizona? And the answer is yes, they are allowed. The topic got brought up before the legislature a few years ago, and they decided that it was up to the towns. It's up to the towns and the HOAs to decide if they wanted to have Airbnbs in their area. And they allowed the towns to go ahead and issue permits, if you will, to have an Airbnb. They also capped how much towns can charge you, which is about $250 right now, to get one of these permits for an Airbnb. Now, certain towns were very happy about this, Scottsdale being one of them. Scottsdale's had a huge increase in Airbnbs, and they've actually had some issues with some crime and noise and nuisance at them. And other towns like Paradise Valley is doing the same thing. Mesa, they're doing it. Gilbert's doing it. They're pretty much all doing it. I mean, they were given the opportunity to go ahead and charge you $250, so they're gonna do it. But what that ended up doing was it allowed the towns to put rules and the neighborhoods to put rules. And what I really want to talk about today is the neighborhoods, because that is something that a lot of people overlook. See, when you're looking to get an Airbnb and put it in a neighborhood, you need to look at the HOA rules, okay? You're gonna look up the codes, covenants, and restrictions, or CC&Rs for short. That's gonna let you know if Airbnbs are allowed. Now, Las Sendas is one of those neighborhoods. Now, this neighborhood, a little backstory on it, is absolutely gorgeous. This section of Mesa, I would compare it to North Scottsdale, really. You have homes in here that are 500,000. And then you have homes that go up Las Sendas Mountain that have amazing views that are going for millions of dollars. You've also got Thunder Mountain next door, Mountain Bridge. But this neighborhood, Las Sendas, there's some custom sprawling estates in here that are millions of dollars. And the HOA here is known for being strict. They have a golf course where, last I checked, membership was like $30,000 to join, plus dues. So it's a nice neighborhood. Very strict HOA. And when the neighborhood was first formed in the early 2000s, short-term rentals hadn't even been thought of. No one knew what they were. So they weren't banned in the HOA. Well, Airbnb's one popular thing to do is to go to a nice area, buy an expensive home, and advertise it as like a 4,000 square foot home that'll sleep 15, 20 people. And you'll attract a lot of people who want to have nice big parties, bachelor parties, just sports teams that are coming through town, all sorts of stuff. A lot of that happened here in Las Sendas. Now, this neighborhood, being known for having a strict HOA, a lot of the people weren't too happy about that. They were having their neighbors who they thought were gonna be there all the time are now different every weekend. And they're coming in, they're partying throughout the nights, they're blasting music, they're throwing up in the streets because they're drinking too much. This made the residents of this neighborhood very upset. And so the HOA decided to go ahead and try and pass a rule which required 75% of the citizens, or residents, I should say, of this neighborhood to vote in favor of banning HOAs. Well, the reason why this was a fight was because the people who own these HOAs spent a lot of money on these homes. And on top of that, the HOA itself spent $50,000 of HOA dues to basically campaign against Airbnbs to get them banned. So that made a lot of the homeowners upset. Now, what ended up happening was they had the vote and they needed a 75% majority, and they got it. So they banned short-term rentals. You have to rent a home out here for at least 31 days, or you're breaking the rules of the HOA, and the HOA can come after you. Now, this is important to keep in mind, because even though an HOA may not ban Airbnbs or short-term rentals at the time, you really need to take into account the atmosphere of the neighborhood. Is it a neighborhood that's known for having a strict HOA, where people really like that order and don't like people coming in and out, like it's totally gated? Is it like that? Because if it is, you need to take that into account, because HOAs can change their rules. And so I really like to reference this neighborhood when I'm explaining that to people, because it's a prime example. So keep that in mind when looking for an Airbnb. Don't just look at the rules, but take into account the atmosphere of the neighborhood and where you think it's going, and was the HOA formed before Airbnbs were even a thing? All right, I had to move. There was a school that was getting out. I didn't realize they had a half day today. So it was getting kind of loud. But anyways, I just wanted to come up here and show you guys why Las Sendas is so sought after, and you know, why people were putting Airbnbs in here. First off, look at these homes. That one's under construction. It's custom. It's absolutely massive. That's just like an entryway. The real home's behind it. But what makes this neighborhood so valuable, let me get to a spot where the trees aren't blocking me, is the views, okay? Here in Arizona, especially in the Phoenix area, if you live on a hill, your property value is gonna go through the roof, just because you're gonna have a view, okay? The Phoenix Valley is very flat, and because of that, no one really has much of a view here. Like that guy right there in that huge house, he's gonna have a nice view. But you look behind me, you can see the whole valley out there, okay? So when you think about it, if you're gonna be staying in an Airbnb, you know, would you rather stay down there? Would you rather be up here? So because of that, that's why a lot of the people who lived in Las Sendas were putting Airbnbs here, because they were very attractive. But the downside is you've got people who've literally saved their entire life to live here, and they don't want people next door partying all night. So that's why I say, always keep in mind the neighborhood and its culture, okay? You need to know this. I know there are a lot of people online who will tell you to buy Airbnbs in other states where you don't know anything, you don't need any help, don't worry about it. You know, just buy their course for 500 bucks and they'll tell you how to do it all. Talk with an agent, okay? I'd be happy to help you if you're looking to get an Airbnb here, discuss the area, what's going on. Oh man, look at this view. And you know, if I think it would be a good fit, as well as go over what areas are good, because frankly, Airbnb's gotten very oversaturated here. We have a lot of them. I'm not against Airbnb, I actually love them, but there is definitely a right way and a wrong way to do them. And I think far too many people overlook neighborhood culture and atmosphere when they are buying an Airbnb. So keep that in mind. If you have questions, let me know. If you want this view, oh my gosh, the valley, it's absolutely beautiful. Let me know as well, okay? And look at some of these homes. I believe that one is actually for sale. I'll have to double check. These ones are custom going in. Absolutely amazing. They're so cool, some of these houses. I'll put a link below to this neighborhood so you can take a look, see what's available. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Don't forget to subscribe.